Good morning, everyone. This is Varsha Saraugi from MBA second year. We welcome the distinguished guests on the dais, faculty, staff, students, and members of the print and electronic media. Prayer is the key to unlock all the doors and it leads us to success. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Gayatri Modukuri and Suprita from MBA first year to take us on a musical journey of prayer and blessings with their enchanting voices for the invocation song. I request the audience to please stand for the invocation song.
नायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि.
Light is a symbol of divinity and divine life. It symbolizes purity, goodness, clarity, and knowledge. May I request the dignitaries on the dais to please come forward to light the lamp. The lighting of the lamp marked the beginning of this auspicious occasion. So, let us move forward with the spirit of enlightenment and take off divine blessings. A leader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows us the way. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Manoj K. Arora, is a highly regarded academician with over 3 decades of experience in technical education and research.
Chief guest, Dr. Nagendra Chaudhary, Dean, School of Business, Paari School of Business, Professor Bhardwaj, our Registrar, Dr. Prem Kumar, and our Head of School of Business or Management Program, I would say, Dr. Mahalakshmi, my dear colleagues and students. Yeah, what a great day. We shall be doing two things today. One, for the budding working professionals to become students again. Two, the students themselves who are here at our university. So we are going to do two things. And today we have with us Dr. Nagendra Chaudhary. I just had 15 minutes of interaction with him, and I'm so impressed the kind of clarity he has, whether it is in executive education space or running a school of business. I'm thoroughly impressed and really enjoyed talking to you, Dr. Chaudhary, and you will listen to him. Dr. Chaudhary, we may be 5.5 years young university. I don't call old university, young university. We have to be young all the time. We have covered a lot of distance, and we are more than 5,600 students on campus now, more than 275 faculty, lots of projects, sponsor research, industrial consultancy project, patents, high quality publications, ABDCA, A star, B, C, all those kinds of publications our faculty are doing. We believe we are on the right track. And when people like you come and bless us, we get strength. So thank you for coming. We recently have launched Directorate of executive education and professional studies. We believe that with the kind of faculty which we have on our campus, who are doctorates and postdoctorates from institutes of excellence not within India and abroad, we believe we have the ammunition to help the industries, to help the corporates, to upgrade their skills in many manners. I'm told that today the IT industry, 50% of the workforce there is out of technology. And that's true. So we need to continuously upgrade ourselves. And therefore, with that as the intention, we have established this directorate. There's a huge potential for us to really skill the manpower who is already working with the kind of intellect which we have on our campus. So today, in those, I would say, in that respect, we will be launching our executive MBA program, which we want to start from academic year 23-24. And today is the day that we are going to launch this, which I think will go back into the history of SRM University AP, that yes, we are there, we will serve the society with whatever we can do through these programs. Already, there are talks going on to train the budding young professionals in the banking sector. So already talks are on with HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank. Very soon, probably, we will be starting training programs for young professionals there who take these probationary positions in the banks right in the beginning, and they need to really train themselves on managerial skills, leadership skills, and whatnot. So these programs we are going to start soon, and the talks are on. Similarly, there is huge potential for many certificate programs, PG diploma programs in many other areas, including sciences, engineering, liberal arts. And I don't see any difference between all these disciplines now. These all are connected when we talk of digital economy, when we talk of digital humanities, when we talk of use of AI and machine learning in many different areas, data science for that matter. All these are niche areas, and all these disciplines can start conceiving programs around this, not only for our own students, but for the professionals outside the world. So in this respect, EMBA is a very welcoming step. I must congratulate the Dean School of Business to take initiative on that, and our academic council has already approved it. So probably curricula preparation is on, and I would request Dr. Chaudhary also that if you can give your inputs on the curricula, that would be great for this EMBA program. So the next thing which now I would talk about is congratulating our students of Paari School of Business. We have recently re-christened this, our School of Management and Entrepreneurship, into Paari School of Business, and it's now a force to reckon with, and we have to go all out. And in this respect, our dear students of School of Business, they have planned a fest, and today I think they are going to start that fest also. So I must congratulate the students, because fests are by the students, from the students, for the students. And it really serves two purposes. One, branding and visibility of their own school, which is Paari School of Business. Other, they themselves learn leadership qualities, managerial skills, how to really run these kinds of fests. So it serves two purposes. So in next 2 days, enjoy as much as you can, learn as much as you can from each other, from others who will be visiting us, and go gaga about Paari School of Business, right? Congratulations. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and insightful speech. A visionary academician with a passion for excellence, Professor Bharadwaj sir has over 26 years of experience in teaching, research, industry, and administration. He is regarded as one of the top researchers in India. Let us call upon Professor Bharadwaj sir, the Dean, Paari School of Business, to deliver his words.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Right, so respected dignitaries on the dais, right? Dr. Nagendra Chaudhary from Times Pro, Professor Manoj Arora, our beloved Vice Chancellor, Dr. Prem Kumar, Dr. Mahalakshmi, my fellow deans, directors, faculty, and press members from the press corps, and my dear students. Right, welcome to this function. As Professor Manoj Arora said, this is a red letter day, right? A couple of months back, we launched the Paari School of Business formally. Right? We were called the School of Entrepreneurship and Management Studies, and we launched the Paari School of Business a couple of months back. At that time, we also launched the Directorate of Executive Education and Professional Studies. So what we are seeing today, the launch of the EMBA, is a logical corollary of the launch of the DEEPS, of the Directorate of Executive Education and Professional Studies, right? And, in today's world, constant upskilling and upgradation of skills are extremely important, right? Extremely important. Like some of us who have a lot of experience, like more than 20 or 30 years experience, certainly we learned a lot in our undergraduate days, in our MBA or master's, whatever we have done, and in our PhD days. But when we look upon what we have learned since then, right? That PhD or MBA or whatever we learned, that was a launch pad really. That is a launch pad, right? That is a launch pad for further learning. So I'm sure that when we reflect upon the senior people here, when we reflect upon, what we have learned over the last 20 or 30 years, right, is tremendous. Right? What we have learned in our MBA program and what we have learned since then, right? We've added so much value to ourselves and society. I'm sure that all the experienced people here will vouch for this, that learning never stops, right? We keep learning. And, so today there is a need for this kind of program, an executive MBA kind of program, because upskilling and upgradation of skills, constant upskilling, constant upgradation, those are key in industry today, right? And, so there is, of course, industry people, they can quit their jobs and do a regular MBA program. Because nowadays, if you look at many schools in India, all of us, we want experienced people in the classroom so that they can understand what we are teaching better, we can relate to what we are teaching better, and so on. But the problem is not everybody can afford to quit their jobs and do a full-time MBA program, right? So not everybody can afford to quit their jobs. Because for 2 years, if they quit their jobs, right, their incomes will become zero. And for many people, that is not an option at all. That's not an option at all because they have mouths to feed, they have financial commitments, social pressures, whatever be the reasons, right? Mainly financial commitments, mouths to feed, so they cannot afford to quit their jobs. So on the one hand, upskilling, upgradation, acquiring new degrees, these are important, but on the other hand, they cannot quit their jobs. The solution, therefore, is an EMBA program, right? That is what we want to offer, right? We want to offer an EMBA program for those working professionals, in and around, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, who cannot quit their jobs, right? And so they can get an EMBA degree, they will learn, they will get an EMBA degree, they will learn, they will upskill, they will upgrade their skills, they will progress in their careers as a result, right? Training is very important, right? Training is very important. Now, one day in a particular company, two senior managers were conversing thus. Senior manager A, right? one problem that companies face is, when they train their employees, they fear this, that the employees will get trained and then leave, right? The company will pay for the training, but the employees will enjoy the benefit. I mean, they will get trained, but then leave the company. So that was a fear that these two senior managers had. So senior manager A said this. He asked this question: what if we train our employees and then they leave? Senior manager B replied, what if we don't and they stay? Right? What if we don't and they stay? Right? That will be worse. Right? That will be worse, because if they stay, then they are not equipped to deal with, the ever fast-changing world. Right? They are not equipped to deal with the fast-changing world. So that is why, training, constant upgradation of skills is absolutely required, and it is our, the fact that we are offering EMBA, right? It means a lot to us. It means a lot to us, right? That we are, because we pride ourselves on being a university that is regionally transformative, right? We pride ourselves on being a university that is regionally transformative. And so that is what this program will be, right? There are so many executives in this vicinity, right? In this vicinity. Not only in Vijayawada, Guntur, right, even in Hyderabad, in other parts of Telangana, Dr. Chowdhury and us were discussing, government offices, doing projects for government sectors. There are so many government offices here that, so for all of them, that this program will be a boon. Right? That is what we hope, right? So that it will be mutually beneficial because, see, I remember I did my PhD in the year 2002. I joined Nanyang Technological University as an assistant professor. And my HOD, he asked me to take a class on advertising. He said, can you teach advertising? I said, fine, sir, I can teach advertising. So then he said, this class, at Nanyang, they used to be very clever about the way they offer the electives. They used to combine the regular students with the EMBA students so that it saves costs for them, right? It's only one course that is delivered for both the EMBA students and the regular students all at once. So I was a freshly minted PhD. I went inside class, right? And I saw 30, 40 people seated there. Some of them were regular students, some of them were senior people from industry. So typically what we do in the first day of classes, we ask our students to introduce themselves in such classes. So I asked them one by one, can you just introduce yourself? So one gentleman, a Chinese gentleman, right, he said, my name is Jack Lim. Then I said, okay, so what is your designation? He said, I am the marketing director, Asia Pacific for CNBC. So my heart sank. I was a freshly minted MBA, and here is a marketing director from CNBC Asia Pacific as my student. So I wanted to tell him, so you come here and teach, right? I will sit there and learn, right? I will sit there and learn, right? So my heart sank when I heard that. But this, this tells us two things. One is, as faculty, when we teach such senior executives, we learn a lot and we become much better faculty. And we become much better faculty. I'm sure those of us who are senior faculty here can absolutely attest to this, that when we teach senior executives, we ourselves learn a lot because they come in with so much a wealth of experience from different sectors, and we learn so many things from that. Many examples I quote today in my classes, right? I have to give credit to my, so many years I've been teaching executives, and so many times they tell me examples, and I use them in my regular classes as well. So that's the first lesson, that we become much better faculty when we teach executives. The second lesson is, even though Mr. Jack Lim was the marketing director of CNBC Asia Pacific, he still wanted to upskill and upgrade. Right? He still wanted to upskill and upgrade. So he did not sit back and say, I'm the marketing director, what is there for me to learn? Nothing like that, right? He said that, he came in with an attitude that I want to learn, right? So because that tells us the importance of upskilling and upgradation, right? It doesn't matter how high you are, but we all have to learn, and sometimes informally we learn all the time, but sometimes we also may have to learn formally, right? Sometimes we also have to learn formally, right? And, so that is one lesson, that is a couple of lessons from that small episode, right? And this EMBA will be an excellent program. It will be taught 60% by our faculty, 40% by industry faculty, right? And I hope Dr. Nagendra can come and teach a couple of courses as well, right? So it will be a hybrid model, right, where we will have 60% offline, 40% online, because we believe that face-to-face is still very, very good. It has lots of advantages over the online medium, but at the same time, the online medium also has some advantages in that it is flexible. People are working, they may not have time to attend classes, so the online medium comes with its own plus points. So we've married both offline and online. It's a hybrid program. And we will give not a PG diploma, but an EMBA itself. Right? It's a degree, not a diploma that we will give. Right? So that's a key advantage that we have, all at a very affordable price. And, I am very happy to have, Dr. Nagendra Chaudhary here with us today. He's a head of the academic content of Times Pro, and he is one of the pioneers in the space of executive education in India. Right, so he's one of the pioneers in executive education in India. So we could think of no other better person than him to launch this program. Right? We could not think of a better person than him to launch this program. Right? He is a doctorate. He's been a dean. He's been a leader in the executive education space. He's heading Times Pro. So he comes with a wealth of experience, and he's a complete package really. Right? And secondly, we are also going to launch AMEYA, our own B-School Fest, and I'm very happy to say that, this is a first edition of our B-School Fest. It's a first edition, and this will be, again, a momentous occasion for us, because we want to make this an annual event. Because, like Professor Manoj said, this will build our brand, it will give visibility, raise our awareness, all that is fine. Plus, our students themselves will learn. And I also want to tell everybody here that you can see our students, they're all dressed in suits today. Right? For a long time, we did not have this suit culture, but I observed that some of our students, right, even when they went for interviews, maybe they could have dressed better. So I told them, all of you have to buy a suit and wear it. So then they said, can you organize a vendor, sir? We will all pay the money and we will do it. I said, I will not organize a vendor, you organize a vendor. Right? You organize a vendor. It is very easy for me. I can do it easily. But management is all about learning by doing. So I told my students, you organize a vendor, you get that person to come here, take measurements, do the payments, do everything. Right? So I'm very happy to say that, many of our students, right, they organize this themselves, right, the suits that you see. And we thought that to be unique, we need to have an olive green, because rather than a dark blue, which is a convention, but if you look at our colors, it's olive green. And we said, okay, we will dress in, our suit should be olive green, that will stand out as well in the marketplace. Right? And so like Professor Manoj said, not only visibility, it also, learning by doing. When some of my students, periodically I hold these open houses with my students. So many of my students said, sir, we need some live projects. So I told them, okay, we'll run a B-School Fest. There'll be no better live project than that, right? You organize the events, you get the sponsorship, right? You arrange a chief guest, you do everything, right? There is no better live project than that. So come and participate in this live project, and you will learn a lot. And I'm happy to say that many of our students have enthusiastically participated, and the entire B-School Fest has been put together by them, of course guided and facilitated by some of our faculty. Right? So it helps the students, it makes them learn. They learn lots of new things, organizing, leading, crisis management, so many new things. And of course, finally, the icing on the cake is that you don't have classes for 2 days, right? but later we will make up, of course, right? So then, on with these few words, I will now hand over the floor to my MC. Right? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your words. It was indeed very informative and enlightened our minds. Now we shall have a small video session about the Paari School of Business, and here goes the video.
Namaste. My name is Bharadwaj. I am the Dean of the Paari School of Business, SRM University, AP. The Paari School of Business is an excellent business school situated in Amravati near Vijayawada, and we have the BBA program, the MBA program, EMBA program and the PhD program. All our programs are characterized by academic rigor, customer focus, and we give recruiters and other stakeholders what they want from our programs. Our programs are innovative, our programs are rigorous, our programs are different. We have some unique courses like Samaj Seva, for instance, SME consulting, for instance, in the MBA and the BBA programs. And our programs are immersive and experiential. We have simulation-based courses. Samaj Seva is again an immersive course. Many of our courses are experiential and immersive. Our students are excellent. They are passionate, they are driven, they want to do things for themselves and for the country. So our BBA program has 3 exit options. 1, entrepreneurship. Some students set up their own companies. And 2, placement. Students can get a job in a function area of their choice. And 3, many of our students want to go abroad for higher studies or want to do MBA programs in India, here at SRM AP or elsewhere as well. Getting a foreign placement is a dream for many students in India, and even though we are a very young school, we have already achieved that. This is an achievement that very few schools can boast about. Our students are excellent. They win prizes in competitions. They participate. They hold business school fests. We have clubs and committees. Our faculty are second to none. They have PhDs from excellent institutes in India and abroad. They are highly research focused, they are highly dedicated, they are excellent teachers, and many of them have industry experience as well. And about our PhD program, because our faculty is highly research focused, they publish in ABDC, A-Star and A journals regularly. And we have a center of excellence called Center of Consumer Research in India with a very high-powered steering committee behind this, and our stipends are very good. We have the required databases, the infrastructure. Therefore, we get very good PhD students as well.
Are very passionate and are very student focused, and they give handouts and they always enhance with group activities and make sure that the class is very interactive.
Education here at Paari Business School aims at 2 things, that is industry exposure and developing a critical and logical thinking mindset among the students. Our school focuses on the overall development of a student. To achieve this, our school has come up with few of the innovative courses like Samaj Seva and Mind and Soul training.
Paari Business School is the ideal choice for anyone seeking to excel in the business world.
That was a really interesting video and presented the different facets of Paari School of Business. A man with a mission first and me next mindset, our chief guest for today, Dr. Nagendra V. Chaudhary, has been in teaching, research and consulting for more than 3 decades. He had built many institutions from zero level, and that includes ENPC Paris, Executive MBA program in Cochin, ICFI Business School Case Development Center, Aegis Global Academy, and Economic Times Cases, being one of the pioneers in the executive education in India. Professor Nagendra V. Chaudhary was also a former Dean of Bennett University School of Management, and presently he is serving as a Vice President and Head Academics at Times Pro, a division of Bennett Coleman and Company Limited. Sir, it is indeed an honor to have you here at SRM University. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Dr. Nagendra V. Chaudhary to deliver his speech.
Good morning to all of you. I must congratulate the Vice Chancellor and the Dean and the rest of the faculty at Paari School of Business for starting this beautiful program, and also great business school. If you look at the history, like Confucius said, if you forget the history, you'll be condemned to repeat it. Let me just share one or two perspectives. Not anything that I can add more than what you have already heard, but nevertheless, let me just share with you. One is that exactly 80 years ago, the first ever executive MBA program was started in one of the finest business schools of the world, and that is Chicago Booth School of Business. The first ever executive MBA was started in 1943, 80 years ago. Now, this business school, along with others, have gone on to become some of the finest one. And the rarest of rare is that it's only in MBA thing that you have something called as executive. Not any other profession will have this pleasure or the luxury. Also, if you look at the MBA program itself, the Harvard Business School started its first MBA program in the world in 1908, exactly about 122 years ago. In the first year, there were 13 students, and they had 15 faculty, 1908. And they had only 4 subjects. At the end of first year, 9 students go to the dean and tell him that, sir, we want to quit the program. Can you imagine what can be the reason as to why 9 students out of 13 students who want to quit the program? And please remember, they are going to be part of the history. Any first batch is always first batch. And that from Harvard. Of course, they wouldn't have known what they would eventually become. But like I said, 9 students have gone to the dean and requested him, sir, we want to quit the program. Obviously, he was baffled. Why the hell do you want to quit the program? And after a lot of quizzing, the students have come out saying that, sir, we are not able to cope up with the rigor of the program. Now, the anticlimax here, please note, is that there were only 4 subjects in 2 years program. A second thing is they did not have any body of knowledge like all of you have it. You have textbooks, you have Googles of the world, you have online courses, you name it, you have everything. They didn't have textbooks. There is no body of knowledge. And there were only 4 subjects, by the way. Business environment, which is supposed to be the earlier of the strategy course, accounting, economics. Other one is definitely the strategy part of it. Only 4 subjects, only 4. Now you should ask, how could faculty bring that kind of rigor in the classroom? There is no textbooks, no internet, no libraries, nothing whatsoever in 1908. And that is because faculty, they used to go in the morning to companies, work there or observe, and that's how all the management and the researchers come from the shop floor, right from your Henry Foyle, who is the father of management. And that's what you have seen Ford Foundation, Alfred P. Sloan, they funded huge research. Because many times people tell us that management is very boring. Theoretically, it's not. Everything that you study in school, business school, has come from practice. So that's the thing about, eventually, by the way, they quit the program, and therefore the first year MBA program, only 4 students actually graduated. And you can give all the credit to the faculty to bring that kind of quality. And the second thing is that if I ask you, or if somebody asks you, which is the world's oldest and smallest university? Currently, this year, it is celebrating 102nd year. This university has got only 12 students. For the last 102 years, it admits only 12 students. Till its 100th year, with all due respects, it has never admitted any woman participant or any woman student. Only from 101st year onwards, it admitted. Third one is that it never charges any fee. Fourth one is that it does not have faculty. You can imagine what this institution must have created in the last 102 years. It has created about maybe 1,200 students across century plus. And you can also imagine where this 1,200 students must be. Top class guys, policy makers, When professor is talking about we are just 5 years young university, it doesn't have to be how young you are, how resource crunch you, or what resources, or how many resources you have it. It is all about the spirit. And by the way, this is Dave Springs. It is, of course, very strangely, very, I would say, counterintuitively, this is situated very close to Las Vegas, that university. Even today it functions, one of the finest. I won't think you would have heard about it. And likewise, you'll have phenomenal places in the world. And the third thing that I want to share with you, and maybe the last thing, I think everybody would tell you about what you should be doing in the classrooms and things like that. I'm sure all of you must have heard about this great gentleman named Salman Khan. Not from Bollywood, but there's other Salman Khan who has started this Khan Academy. He's from Bangladesh, by the way, and he has started this beautiful thing called his Khan Academy, where it is much more tough, or it's much more difficult to become a teacher than becoming a tenured professor at Ivy League schools. Name it Kellogg's, maybe Yale, maybe Princeton, maybe Stanford's of the world. It's much easier to become a faculty there than to become a teacher at Khan Academy. And there's a beautiful logic there. If time permits, we can discuss about it. But what he has done is, he has become famous because of only one thing. He has a niece. He used to work in Oracle in the United States, and then he has a beautiful sister, and she's blessed with his small son, his nephew. And he always wanted to learn mathematics. But then he was not enjoying mathematics in school. And his sister requested her brother, can you teach him mathematics? He said, I can, but the question is that it's too far. I can't afford to come every now and then to teach. It's the other end of the course there. So he started, please remember, these are the early days of your YouTube. I'm talking about early 2000s. He started making small videos on algebra and little mathematics, and they started posting on YouTube so that this kid could see on the weekends. As would happen, before the kid could see, the rest of the world started seeing it, and that's how his claim to fame. That's the first thing. Simple in mathematics. That's what it is. And then, one fine morning, Bill Gates was having his breakfast with his son and daughter. The daughter goes up to him and says that, Dad, I want to learn mathematics from this gentleman. And he was still in office. He did not demit the office. He did not hand over to Steve Ballmer, his successor. So he inquired, I thought, who the hell is this guy? I never heard about him. So he goes to office. He puts his staff for his office to find out where this guy is. And then finally they trace him, and they set up a meeting with him. And finally, he meets up with him, and the rest of the is a history. This gentleman, he conducted, I think 4 years ago, it's published in Time magazine. He conducted a survey, and by the way, probably the most expensive management research or actual cognitive study ever in the world, very expensive. I'll tell you why. He goes to 21 Ivy League students. When I say 21 Ivy League, you're talking about Harvard's, Kellogg's, Princeton's, Yale's, Columbia's of the world. 21 Ivy League students, that's one. The second thing is, you can imagine who must be there in these Ivy League students. Some of the finest brains in the world. The best in the world come there, they assemble, and that's what the business schools are about. And these guys, as you would know, unlike us, that's why you should be really thanking your parents. Because in India, even after 10th standard, our parents continue to fund us. That's not the case in the rest of the world, by the way. Nobody cares a damn. After 10th, you are on your own. Even Obama's children, you name anybody's, they have to be on their own. In our case, with all due respects, by the way, that's what we do. And we think they're responsible to us. Not at all. These guys pay through their nose. That's the kind of students you're talking about. And when they come there in a hall like this, right, they know that every hour of learning that they're attending, there's an opportunity cost. In case if they miss out, they are missing out a big deal, a few hundreds of dollars. And imagine, so he just wanted to find an answer to the question. The answer that he wanted to find out was how much time in a 1 hour, that's 60 minutes time, the students are zoning in. I told you the kind of students. They're the top class students in the world. They're paying through their nose, right? And they know the cost of every session they attend or do not attend. So he just wanted to find an answer. The question is, how much time in a 60-minute session they are zoning in? That is, they are with the faculty. Not that you're doing me a favor by sitting here in this celebrated chair. I don't care. The point is that, are you with the faculty? In fact, when I was, start my career in a French business school in Paris, you don't believe 120 students across the globe, and who are very elder to me, almost like 20, 21 years elder to me. But then it's a very great experience. We teach them for one full day how to sit in a classroom. There's a dignity. There's a science. It's not just about sitting in a classroom, not at all. There's a dignity, right? So coming back to my story on this gentleman, so he wanted to find an answer. So like I said, he had to find as to how much time they're zoning in. That means you have to use all sort of apparatus to do it. And he did it. And of course, it took them almost about 8 months across these 21 Ivy League schools. You know the results? 21 Ivy League students, the best of the students in the world, they are zoning in. That means they are with the faculty only for 16% of 60 minutes. That means 84% of the time their mind is elsewhere. You can imagine if that's happening with some of the most brilliant students in the world, what must be happening to us? Your mind is just somewhere. And that's why it's not about, every time somebody tells me that, and faculty especially, or the deans and director, with all due respect, by the way, they tell me that I have a 60-minute session. That's a suicidal way of thinking, absolutely suicidal. You might ask me why. If you're thinking 60 minutes, and if you have 60 students in a classroom, it should be 16 to 60 minutes. That's about 300,600 minutes learning should take place in one session. Because everybody is spending equal time. And that's why classrooms come alive. And business schools, of course, every other school as well, but most so in business school because you're supposed to share your experience. So my request to all of you, so of course, I'm sure a lot of things people can tell you a lot of other things, but then I think the last thing that I want to share with you is, I think you don't have to look for, because I've done close to about 4,500 case studies, and I think I would have written about 30 books, but I'll tell you what, I think one of the great things that I always enjoyed is, people tell me always about world class. We keep using these words. Well, nobody is defined as a world class. You go to Toyota, you go to Honda, you go to maybe Walmart, you go to Sony, or you go to Apple, by the way. Is it a world class, or is it anything else? And in our own case, by the way, healthcare. Look, we have some of the finest hospitals in the world. Arvind Eye Care Hospital, the best eye care facility in the world. There's nothing beyond it. When the rest of the ophthalmologists do 200 eye surgeries in a year, and Arvind Eye Care Hospital doctor does 2,200 successful operations. Then you name it, we have a lot of people, right? But I think the biggest thing that I want to share with you is that you don't have to look for some of the finest companies in the world. I think what we need to be doing is simple thing called as the neighborhood stories. For example, let's say, I'm sure all of you must be using your ATM, right? Whenever you want, right? Just imagine if you just observe there. Of course, don't stare at it because people might mistake you that you have come to steal money there. It's not at all. But then just observe as to what is the economics of that beautiful machine. The first credit card was introduced in the world by American Express, by the way. The rest of the world followed. The first, vending machine, that's what your ATM is all about, again, started there. But if you look at the entire economics, it's a simple thing. Same thing happens to every time you swipe a card, that's economics, boss. There are many companies that are surviving that in a few seconds that you're swiping it. There are 3 companies that are getting benefited in that few seconds that you're swiping it. Everything that you do, you have to just observe. Just observe everything, right? So I think I would only request all of you to, you don't have to look out for something in the world. You just have to look out for what's happening in the neighborhood. It can be a small company. It can be, in fact, I felt so happy when I heard there's Samaj Seva. I'm sure you must be doing a rocking job there. But the point is that make sure that, it really counts for you. And lastly, if I can tell you, low aim is a crime. Low aim is a crime. Never aim low. We might be not achieving, but then point is that we'll all take pride in the way we set up the goal and the kind of thing that we want to achieve. And I wish Executive MBA, very soon, if not today, but sometime soon, should get into QS rankings or FT ranking because they're the best in the world. Look at FT rankings for the last 2022. We don't have the data for 2023 as it. There is only one institution from whole of top 100. There is only one institution from India, and that is ISB, Hyderabad, not even Mohali campus. And I'm sure something like this can actually aspire to be there. You might ask me, is it possible? It is. And that's what it is all about. I think somebody like you have to dream big, and then it happens maybe in the next decade, or maybe next 5 years, or maybe definitely it'll happen. Like I think everybody said, anything that you wish, it has to be wished, by the way, anything that you wish will be granted. It might be delayed, but it will never be denied. It might be delayed, but the only thing is it has to be wished. And if you imagine for a moment that all of you wish that our school, Paari School of Business, has got to be in the FT rankings or QS ranking, for example, because that's you're visiting out to the rest of the world. If you like, you have to be there, right? In any case, right? If not today, tomorrow, because that's a visiting card. So I think my request to all of you is that, please keep aiming high. I'm sure you'll be there one day. Thank you so much. And I must thank all my Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dean, and my colleague, Mr. Professor Arun Kumar, also for giving me this great opportunity and to be with you, all of you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for those enlightening words of wisdom. Now we will have a small video session about the Executive MBA program, and here goes the video.
Greetings, this is Bharadwaj, Dean of the Paari School of Business, SRM University, AP. I'm very, very happy to announce that we're going to launch an EMBA program, Executive Masters of Business Administration program. This is a 2-year program meant for working executives. Now, why EMBA? Upskilling and upgrading knowledge, both are essential in today's business world. Many employees in many companies are undergraduate degree holders, either BTechs or BComs, etc., or BBAs, and some of them, they have the luxury of quitting their jobs and doing a full-time MBA program. But many times this is not possible for many people because of economic, family reasons, whatever be the reason. Many people are not in a position to quit their jobs and do a full-time MBA program. Therefore, right, we at the Paari School of Business, SRM University AP, have come out with an EMBA program. This is meant for working executives, entrepreneurs, businessmen, right, who cannot quit their jobs to join a full-time MBA program. So upskilling is required, gaining new knowledge is required, postgraduate degree is required, but many people cannot quit their jobs. And so what's the way out for them? The way out is they can do an EMBA program at the Paari School of Business, SRM University, AP. So the program works like this. The salient features of the program are, it is a 2-year program. Number 1, it's a 2-year program. And number 2, it's a part-time program. Number 3, right? The classes will happen over alternative weekends physically. Face-to-face classes would happen in alternative weekends physically. 60% of the classes would happen like this physically, face-to-face, or in alternative weekends. The other 40% would be delivered online. Thus, it's a blended model. So, working executives need not quit their jobs. Monday through Friday, they can continue to work. Saturday and Sunday, every alternative Saturday and Sunday, they would be required to come to our campus to attend physical classes. And the other 40% of the classes will be delivered online on convenient dates and times for participants. Right. So the salient features are, and we have major specializations: marketing, finance, operations, family business, entrepreneurship, etc., analytics, all the major specializations we have. We have excellent faculty. 60% of, full-time faculty is excellent. Full-time faculty has PhD degrees from leading institutes in India and abroad. And 60%, roughly 60 to 70% of our courses would be delivered by full-time faculty. 30 to 40% of the courses would be delivered by visiting faculty drawn from industry, right? And we have a significant project component. We have 2 extensive projects that students are expected to do. So you can learn while you earn, right, or earn while you learn, and apply the knowledge that you gain through our classes in your organizations for the betterment of yourselves, career advancement, as well as for the improvement of your organizations, finances or marketing or whatever be the functional area that you work in. So it is a highly affordable program. It's a rich program, excellent program,
rich in the sense the curriculum is very rich, drawn from, it is industry ready. It is, it is based on the best practices in industry. We draw visiting faculty from industry. Our own faculty do projects for industry, and many of our faculty have trained working executives in leading companies in India for many years now. Right? So this program is ideal for people that are working, in anywhere in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, and they can travel to our campus once in 2 weekends. And the other 40% of the classes will happen online. And so this program is ideal for working executives who cannot quit their jobs. It's a unique program. It is it's a program that has a very good curriculum, excellent faculty, industry connect, and peer learning. Right? You all will learn from one another. Students and participants will be drawn from different sectors, different companies, different industries. So you will learn from one another. Right? So this program is therefore ideal for working executives who cannot quit their jobs in the states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So I welcome all of you to the Executive MBA. Thank you very much.
Indeed, it was an informative video on the importance of Executive MBA program. Now we request the Chief Guest, Dr. Nagendra V. Chaudhary, sir, to launch the EMBA. Thank you, sir, for the launch. May I now request CA Dr. Mahalakshmi Ma'am, Head of Department Management, to give a brief introduction of AMEYA, the Business Fest.
Actually, my life is a little difficult after all these extraordinary speeches that we have heard. I think it's going to be very difficult for me. But let me start. So my speech, my talk today is on the importance of the Business Fest. Okay. So let me just welcome our respected Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Manoj Arora ji, respected Registrar, sir, Dr. Prem Kumar, our chief guest for this event, Dr. Narendra Chaudhary ji, and our Dean for the Paari School of Business, Professor Bharadwaj, and the dignitaries and the deans of the stage, and my fellow colleagues and staff, and my dear students, participants who are here today for the Business Fest. Okay, so I welcome you all wholeheartedly for the Business Fest, AMEYA 2023. And I just hope that this fest is provides you with immense experience, which is going to kind of create moments of joys which you're going to remember forever. Okay, so I will just start with, what is AMEYA, the meaning of AMEYA. I mean, I just was discussing with the students when there was choice of words that we were using or trying to get for the first edition of the Business Fest that we are launching. So AMEYA means that, we are being magnanimous. So that means we are generous, kind-hearted, open-hearted, welcoming, being inclusive, and basically being kind and loving to all the people who are going to be participating and who are going to be interacting with us in this Business Fest. And that is so apt for us, right? So we are going to ensure that all these elements are getting featured in all the events that we are going to be doing for this Business Fest AMEYA 2023. And that's very clearly, you can see in the quote in one of the texts which William Hazlitt has said that this is one of the rarest. I think this morning this word was used. I think to be magnanimous is one of the rarest virtues that you can have as a human being. And if you are able to inculcate that virtue and also display it, I think that's something that's going to enable us to lead a life which is going to be more satisfying and very peaceful. So let me come to the crux of my talk today, is the importance of the Business Fest. Why is this Business Fest so important, and why is it that we are doing this Business Fest? Today morning there were a couple of ideas and couple of reasons that was mentioned to this audience that why Business Fest. But I'm going to bring in my own take on why this Business Fest is essential and what does it teach our business students, our students from the Paari School of Business in terms of, what is it that they are learning. So there are many things, of course. There is many things that you learn when you organize, plan, and you implement this kind of a business fest. But I'm going to bring in only few of those things that we are learning. One is that it teaches you the art of decision making. How do you take decisions? What do you do? What enables you to take decisions? And how do you take decisions in different moments of truth that you encounter in your entire journey of organizing, planning, and implementing the business fest? It teaches you leadership skills, okay, how to manage a team, how to lead a team, what are the leadership skills that you need to inculcate. It teaches you how to manage different situations when you're faced with crisis. So crisis management is very critical. How do you manage critical situations, or how do you manage situations in different crises? And finally, communication, effectively communicating, okay, especially when you're handling situations when you're faced with uncertainty. So let me look at the decision making. So there are many things that you must have learned in the decision making process. But what I'm going to dwell today are actually 3 points on the decision making process. The first is that I'm sure in this entire process of the journey that is culminating in these 2 days of the business fest, you have gone through a lot of things, and that may also have you may have gone through a turmoil, a frustration, lot of situations where you may find that they are, emotionally charged. I'm sure that you have faced this situation. So one of the learnings is that you have to learn to calm down. How do you calm down? So one of the things you should do is pause. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out 4 times. Also, move from the stressful situation. If something is stressing you out, move from there. Come back after an hour. Your response is going to be very different. So that's a big learning for you. You are now doing this in an academic situation. Tomorrow you're going to be handling a similar thing. Every activity that you do, wherever there's a team involved, you're going to be facing similar challenges. This learning is going to help you there. The second thing, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each of the points. I'm just going to touch on each of the points. So there are a lot of things I'm sure you must have learned. Make a good team decision. What is it? Each one of you, whenever you're taking a decision in a team, you must understand that each member is bringing a part of the puzzle. But when you are getting into a discussion, you are discussing the points which are commonly known to all the team members. You have to focus on the part of the puzzle that each one of the team member is bringing into the team. And that's when the outcome of your decisions are going to be far more superior to what you would have done otherwise. So that's a great learning I'm sure you must have come across. And finally, tackle the tasks that you're avoiding. This is typically happens, all of us have a to-do list, okay, to-do list, the list of activities that we need to do for today, tomorrow, next week, etc. And you may find that when you're having this list, there are some activities which keep on repeating. That means it is not done. The task is not done. You have to keep on repeating it. That means it still is there in your to-do list. It's not getting struck off. It's not getting ticked off. Why is that happening? There are 2 reasons. One is that it is possible that the task on the list was not important at all. It should not have been there on the list. Second is that the task is too huge, too large, or too intimidating for you to complete. In that case, if it is not important, strike it off the list, it's not important. If it is too large, break it into bits and handle a smaller bit. It's easier to handle a smaller bit. And I'm sure that that's a learning that you must have got in this entire process of organizing, managing, and also implementing this business fest. I'm sure there are many other points, so I'm not going to be focusing. I'm just focusing on some things which are important. Like leading teams, okay, as I'm sure all of you have been leaders in different teams that you have led or you're leading, and you're going to be leading in the next 2 days as well. So one of the things that I want to share here is that learning for you is that focus on shared values. It's so important that all of us are on the same page. As a team, you're on the same page. When you're doing an activity, in order for that activity to succeed, you have to ensure that you have shared values. Values are so important. So how do you create that? So what do you do? How do you create that? Have your own credo. What is the credo? List of values that you're standing for. List of boundaries that you're setting for yourself, for the entire team. What is the credo? What is the values that you want to stand for? How are you going to value each other? How are you going to treat each other within the team? What kind of respect you're going to show? What is the dignity that you're going to give? So that these boundaries and the credo for the team is going to be a great enabling factor for having shared values. And if you're focusing on shared values, you will find that your outcome for your team is going to be greater. And this part is very important as far as leading teams, because most of you are going to be leading teams in the future. And this is something that you need to actually think about, internalize. Being inclusive, include people. Inclusive doesn't mean physically, means actually accepting, listening. It's not that you will have your team members who are going to agree with everything that you're going to say. There is going to be dissent. And why is the dissent coming? That is because everyone is coming with different skill sets, different experiences. Accept it, listen, agree, disagree, but you can have a constructive argument. But inclusion is a greater part of your team building exercise and your leadership exercise that you are going to be doing in the process of succeeding in today's venture, today's and tomorrow's venture. If today this has to succeed, this will only happen when you are building an inclusive team. Yes. Recognize and reward your team. You have to recognize your team, reward them, and also ensure that the conflict is constructive. So it's very important that, whenever you're going through a conflict, you can have tension within your team, but you should not have friction within your team. And today and tomorrow, this is very important. Be ready for all kind of scenario planning. Planning is very critical. Plans can be discarded. Planning is critical. Have a plan B, plan C. Be ready for any kind of crisis that you may face today and tomorrow, and be very agile and nimble. And this nimbleness, keep it even after the business fest is over, because that is going to enable you. And finally, I will close by saying that effective communication is very important. How you communicate, especially in times of uncertainty when situations are dynamically changing, communicate and be that. All this has been a learning for you, and I'm sure that this is going to hold you in good stead in the future. With that, I wish you all the best for the Business Fest AMEYA 2023. You can march ahead because we are already in April. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the introduction. May I now request our VC sir, Professor Manoj K. Arora, to come forward for the launch of AMEYA. Thank you very much, sir. We request our chief guest, Dr. Nagendra V. Chaudhary, to come forward to accept a small memento as a token of our gratitude. We also request VC sir to present the memento and honor him with a traditional shawl. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our token of gratitude. Now it is my honor to invite Mr. Arun Prasad, Assistant Director, DEEPS, and Program Director, EMBA, to extend the vote of thanks.
Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, heads of the departments, faculty colleagues, members of press and electronic media, my dear students, feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a gift or not presenting it. With this note, I would like to extend my gratitude to all the people who have come here to grace this occasion. I would like to thank the Almighty for presenting us a beautiful day today to start our EMBA journey, which we are starting today. On behalf of SRM University, I would like to thank Dr. Nagendra V. Chaudhary, sir, for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion. Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words, and your words are always inspirational. And sir, you have taken us back to the history of EMBA. In fact, you have redefined how executive MBA has, to be done, and also it has to be, continued. And you have highlighted the best practices, what the institutions does, and you also have highlighted the low crime. The low aim is a crime, which is something, which would help us to understand the importance that we need to aspire for higher things in life. Thank you so much, sir. I'm extremely fortunate to be associated with you for more than a decade. So thank you so much, sir. I would like to thank our leaders, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Manoj K. Arora, sir, Registrar, sir, Dean Professor Bhartwaj, sir, and all the leading teams for being here and supporting us in this particular endeavor. I take this opportunity to thank our CFO ma'am, Suma ma'am, for supporting us and guiding us for planning and organizing this particular event. My sincere thanks to CA Dr. Mayalakshmi Mudaliar ma'am, Head of the Department, Management, and Balaguru Prasad sir, Dr. Anupama ma'am, for supporting us in creating this EMBA curriculum. I would also like to thank Dr. Rohit, Dr. Dharmadecha, Dr. Veeravel, and all the students part of AMEYA organizing committee for their collective efforts in making this B School Fest a grand success. Finally, a special note of appreciation goes out to all the members of CLM department, communication department, finance department, ITKM, student affairs for their extended support to make this launch inauguration event a reality. Once again, thank you all for your presence. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for delivering such an excellent vote of thanks. We thank all the students for their presence and active participation. We are sure that you will have a great time in the Business Fest.